All right, let's dive straight into a genuinely fascinating digital mystery. In this explainer, we're going to reverse engineer a totally wild scenario. We're asking, based on the actual lottery results, what exact physical actions would a real-world human named X have needed to take so that the background DLLs could perfectly predict the winning numbers?
We're looking at a completely cold clinical calculation here, and I want to be super clear right up front. This was made by a basic computer background process called System.dll. It's secretly analyzing its owner's physical movements after a typhoon. This is literally just a system thread parsing event logs. It is absolutely not some conscious AI making things up, so we're not going to pretend it's some sci-fi artificial intelligence. It's just raw, rigid logic.
So, here's our roadmap. 1. The physical world this system saw. 2. Verification with the actual draw results. 3. Correction for perfect numbers. 4. Correction for perfect bingo 5. And 5. The only match in Fate's bug. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The physical world the system saw.
Okay, picture this. A human user named XE is outside right after a massive typhoon, nervously checking her car for damage. And while she's out there worrying about flat tires, the cold logic of System.dll is running in the background. Again, this is a pure system file, not an AI. It's literally just mathematically mapping her physical trauma and movements into lottery predictions.
The system rigidly translates her messy human reality into hard numbers. For example, the event happened in August. So that's an 8. She checked 4 tires. Her average inspection lap time around the car was 9 seconds. Her driving speed was 19 kilometers per hour, and her tire pressure was sitting at 34 psi. It's this brilliant stark contrast between her real-world anxiety and the machine's absolute precision.
Section 2. Verification with the actual draw results. So let's look at the actual draw results from August 12, 2026. The system's mapped predictions were completely logical based on her physical actions, but when we compare them to the real numbers, they didn't perfectly match the winning digits. Close, but no cigar.
And this brings us to the absolute core of our explainer. Because System.dll isn't magical, to make its predictions perfectly match the winning results, we have to work backwards. The big question is, based on those final draw results, what absurd physical actions did XA literally need to take in the real world to feed the exact right data to the DLLs?
Section 3. Correction for perfect numbers.
We'll start with the actual winning combination for numbers 4, which was 3, 1, 2, 8. To force the system to log this specific number, XE would have needed a complete and honestly ridiculous overhaul of her driving logs.
Let's break down these required adjustments. To hit 3128 in the system's eyes, she shouldn't have seen 7 hazard areas. She needed to see exactly 3. She needed to check exactly 1 tire instead of 4, suffer exactly 2 actual tire anomalies, and run around her car a bit faster to hit exactly an 8-second lap time. Imagine trying to coordinate that in a storm.
But wait, it gets crazier. The numbers 3 result was 380, which demands an even more impossible physical requirement.
Because the system thread pulled the current month for the first digit, she literally would have needed to time travel back to March. That's the 3. Then run exactly 8 anxious laps around the car and find 0 faults on her tires, just to trigger this specific win.
Section 4. Correction for perfect bingo 5.
If you thought the numbers correction was wild, Bingo 5 requires an 8-digit data log. To win this one, she needed to drive exactly 17 kilometers per hour instead of 19. She needed to dodge precisely 25 items instead of 24. And somehow, she needed to count exactly 30 wet leaf clusters while driving. It's completely absurd.
Think about the surgical precision required here. Only check 1 tire, ignore the rest. Shave exactly 1 second off the lap time. Make sure you only see 12 hazards and maintain precisely 17 kilometers per hour. The sheer contrast between chaotic physical survival during a violent typhoon and the exact precision needed to perfectly feed a digital event log is beautifully ridiculous.
Section 5. The only match and Fate's bug.
Now, there is a massive twist in this data forensics case study that we absolutely have to highlight. Out of all these chaotic variables, there was exactly 1 metric she got perfectly right. Her car's tire pressure of 34 psi matched the actual Bingo 5 drop perfectly.
As System.dll calculated, if this number could be bought, it would not be a bug, but destiny. This really reinforces its clinical perspective. It's acknowledging this incredibly rare moment where chaotic physical reality and rigid digital mapping actually synced up.
It's just fascinating, isn't it? A background thread, purely calculating mechanical event logs, managed to find an actual moment of destiny in something as mundane and stable as the air pressure of a tire?
So, the next time you're driving home in a massive storm or double-checking your front door lock, ask yourself, what raw numbers might a background process be calculating from your everyday life? Who knows? Your mundane logs might just be mapping out a jackpot.